In this episode, we go big with 5 ultimate roomy rides that prove size does really matter.
We decided we liked the Volkswagen and we wanted it to be 50% bigger.
Most of the reactions, a lot of people smile.
We stretch the imagination.
What's a pimp ride, man?
It doesn't matter how much money I put into that van.
It's all good.
Make a bold statement.
We do everything from birth to death. We can even do your funeral.
And turn the obvious upside down.
Just wanting to do something totally off the wall and unusual.
These rides prove that going bigger can sometimes be better.
That van opens people's eyes.
Some cars are so big they dominate the road. But the Volkswagen Beetle isn't one of them.
Bug is the great car, but it's very small. My dad and I just thought it would be nice if we had a Volkswagen that was comfortable and not feel like you're gonna get run over in traffic. It's a big vehicle. It's bigger than a Hummer.
Watch out on the streets of Cali. There's one huge bug on the loose.
We decided we liked the Volkswagen and we wanted it to be 50% bigger, which is a huge amount, but it was a little bit too big to actually drive on the street legally. So we scaled it back to 40%.
Scott was determined to build a ride that makes you smile, so he upscaled every part of a classic VW Beetle to build the big bug. Over 3,000 custom pieces make up this unique Beetle, but the father and son duo were determined to keep it as authentic as possible. Everyone loves a Beetle, but no one forgets this oversized ride.
We had a '59 Volkswagen convertible. We basically digitized it, we scanned it everywhere, got that computer file built, and then took it apart and made each part 40% bigger on the computer. Used that information to build templates and get all of our dimensions and things, and then started fabricating from there.
Genius, brother.
The platform that we started with for the huge bug's a Dodge truck, so it could handle all the weight and the size and the scale that we needed to go. And then everything's built on top of that. It's got all the creature comforts that you'd want in a new car. Power steering and heated and air-conditioned seats. A Volkswagen with air conditioning is kind of nice. We did a lot of work in here to hide the power window controls and the power door locks and all of the modern stuff and still make it look like a Volkswagen. All of the controls from the Dodge truck and the gauges are on a gauge pod that comes down from under the dash so that while you're driving it, you get all the information that you were getting from the Dodge truck. But when you park it and get out, it goes back up inside and you can't see it, so it still looks like a Volkswagen. The Dodge is an automatic transmission, and the Volkswagens are manual transmissions. It has a simulated brake pedal in there and a clutch pedal, but they're actually both brake pedals. It looks like you'd push the clutch in and do the manual shift, but it's an automatic, so it's nice and comfortable to drive. My favorite thing is that it's not a prop. You can get in it and jump in it, it runs, it drives, it does all the stuff it's supposed to do. It's not just something that's big and shiny and sitting in the background like it is right now. The funnest thing for this is being on the freeway. People just chase you to try to get up next to it, and then they almost run you off the road because they're not looking where they're going.
If you're building something this big, you're receiving some big offers.
There's quite a few offers on it that are standing that are humbling, that people want to pay the kind of dollars they want to pay for something that we built and we love. But the Volkswagen's not going anywhere right now. Just when I see it, it just makes me smile.
Brother, we are smiling with you. From an oversized Beetle to an upside-down bus. Our next ride is turning reality upside down. Customization's not just about bending metal. It's about bending minds. You ain't tripping, brother. This is the Topsy-Turvy Bus.
I wanted to do something completely ridiculous. Do something totally off the wall and unusual.
Job done. This wild ride was created by a pair of dudes called the Mutant Brothers.
I tell people, well, our client came to us with a problem. They said, we've got 2 school buses, but only 1 parking space. Can you help us? We're like, yes, we can.
Brother, are you sure that's the reason? All we know is this pair have brought a new meaning to the term double-decker. The Mutant Brothers had their toughest challenge yet when building this crazy upside-down bus. It took 6 months to fabricate this fantasy, and they even had to build some custom machinery to make it possible. But the outcome, a bus that leaves a big impression.
You figured, all right, well, we'll take 2 school buses, cut the roof off of both of them, unbolt one of them from the frame, turn it upside down, and put it on top of the other one. And that sounds great until you actually have to do that. And then you start thinking, well, how do you turn a school bus upside down? So we had to make our own rotisserie. We got a big, massive piece of pipe, and we bolted some huge bigger pieces of pipe in the school bus, and then ran this pipe right the way down the center, made some stands. We would then pull the whole thing up into the air with block and tackle with chain falls in each corner, pull the whole thing up into the air, then put these big stands at each end of this piece of pipe, and then lower it down onto the stands, and then we could spin the entire bus.
Scariest thing I've ever done at work.
It's pretty nerve-wracking.
It was.
Flipping buses and risking your life. But although this looks unique, it was the brainchild of one ice-cool dude.
The Topsy-Turvy Bus was originally the idea of Ben Cohen from Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream, and he wanted something that would protest government spending, saying it was upside down. And so he had this artist, Tom Kennedy, in California, build the original Topsy-Turvy Bus. It ended up in the hands of this environmental organization, and they get such a fantastic reaction from it that they decided they wanted another one. Unfortunately, Tom Kennedy was killed in a surfing accident, so he was unable, obviously, to build it. So they found us and got in touch, and we're like, sure, we can build that.
People at first just think it's a bus, but then they see the hood and the tires up in the air, and they're like, what the heck is that? And you get that a lot. It's like people will say, well, what is it? You know, and what's it for?
I often wonder what it is that people say when they go home after seeing one of these vehicles.
When you've seen something like this, you'll be talking about it for weeks.
Almost from the get-go, though, I think we started talking about what's next. And we love it when people stop by and they have ideas and they tell us, oh, you know what you should build? You should build a huge watermelon car or whatever it is.
Now, that sounds like one sweet ride. Now, where do I catch this bus from? From a double trouble bus to a Hummer from another mother. Deep in the English countryside resides a beast. An American beast.
This is the only 6-wheeled SUVT Hummer in the world. I'm Niall Seymour, and this is my 2017 custom-built Hummer H6.
This one-off custom build started as a 2006 four-wheeled Hummer SUV, but in 2017 was combined with an SUT truck bed to create 6-wheel pickup perfection. Niall spent over 10 months working on his Hummer before he could get it on the road, and brother, he has built a beauty, and the customs are endless.
I've changed the grille to black, added bull bars and LED headlights. Hummer H2 engine, 6-litre V8. It's got electronic deployable side steps, originally from a Range Rover.
awesome, but there's one thing that makes this Hummer one of a kind.
What I did was took the donor Hummer H2, cut the chassis, and had it extended and added on to the existing chassis here. It's the only one with the pickup bed at the back, as well as the SUV back as well.
Man, let's burn this beast around the countryside.
All right, let's go. Let's take the handbrake off first.
Simple things, brother. Simple things.
I don't have a reason for why I built it. I get bored easily. I think it's the best answer to that. Just figured, why not? Yeah, we've got to try and squeeze through this gap.
It's a common problem for the average Brit, fitting their massive American Hummer through the gated bridge over their own moat.
Oh, it's tight.
Sweet job, dude. Niall has exited the driveway.
Driving it normally is absolutely fine. There's no issues at all. It's a wide car, but because it's left-hand drive, you can keep nice and close to the curb. A car this wide, being right-hand drive in the UK, just wouldn't work.
The American side is always the best side, baby. But how practical is a custom Hummer on the streets of the UK?
It's a lot heavier than a normal car, and you notice that when you're braking, it takes a lot longer to brake. It pulls well, it pulls as quick as a normal family hatchback, so it's very, very similar to driving a normal car. Just the width, the length and the height is ridiculous. I like larger cars, they've got more presence on the road. People let you out of junctions a lot more than if you're in a sports car as well. So living in London, don't get a lot of off-roading. Most off-road we do is over a curb.
Time to take the terrain to the next level with soft grass.
So it drives absolutely fine off-road, as good as it does on-road.
Hummer 1, soft summer grass, nada. Up next for this huge Hummer, a classic car show.
Most of the reactions, wow, a lot of people smile. You either love it or hate it. Most people love it.
You've done a magnificent job on it.
Thank you.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to do?
All in all, from start to finish, parts, everything, probably 10 months.
Really?
Something like that, to get it on the road legal.
I love it.
Thank you.
That's high praise coming from the owner of a Ferrari Daytona.
I take it to car shows, but mainly it's my daily driver. I do the shopping in it, go to the cinema in it. It's my toy, but it's my daily driver as well.
An off-road beast you can pick up your groceries in. I love it. From a huge Hummer to a cosmic cruiser. Don't be fooled by these everyday surroundings. Our next ultimate ride is so amazing, it's out of this world.
And make sure that I create my own style.
Oh, brother, that's a serious understatement. Ivan left no stone unturned when creating his mobile gallery, RV, and entertaining wagon. It's got a complete hand-sprayed paint job. It's been stretched, souped up, and pipped out to create a party piece for all his friends. The 34-foot Cosmic Cruiser always draws a crowd, creating memories every time it hits the road. A true work of art.
'76, we took a Chevy van and basically we chopped it 6 inches, but then we took a '69 Vista Cruiser station wagon roof, which had really nice glass in it. We put it up in the roof, which kind of made it tall again. It's all handmade. The only thing that on the outside of the body that's still original, door handle.
You'd be mad to replace these beauties. Brother, with this much work, what kind of deep space damage are we looking at?
It doesn't matter how much money I put into that van. It only matters that that van opens people's eyes.
The outside is incredible. Very few people can paint like that.
This van has like beautiful artwork. It's got this waterfall, kind of blue lagoon. No, I haven't seen a van like this, no way.
So, what came first, dude? The art or the van?
So I started with artwork, and then I got into being an apprentice for a really good steel body man, and next thing you know, I'm learning new stuff, and I want to express myself, and I keep going. I keep learning. Hammer in my hand or a brush in my hand. Either way, it's okay. That's how you become a master of something.
Brother, you're taking artwork to the next level. Even the van art has art.
People normally are just plain old surprised. Flabbergasted is the easy way to put it.
Man, this is pretty nice. Got a little couch there, got subwoofers, got a bed. Well, it's a pimp ride, man.
This van isn't just for viewing. Baby, it drives with style and smile.
It's all good. It's actually made to cruise 60, 70 mile an hour in comfort for hundreds of miles. You know, it's over the top crazy, but if you actually got to drive it and you sat in it and you used it, rolling down the road, there's nothing better. It's king of the road.
From a rolling piece of art to a lethal limo. Over in the UK, some dude has been hoarding a ton of military hardware, including the most brilliant badass tank you've ever seen. And it'll even pick you up from your problem.
I am the owner of Tank Limo, probably the only tank limo in the world.
I act as tank commander on Tank Limo. Tanks turn from the middle. People don't understand that. They're gonna get squashed. I gotta be the eyes and the ears of Nick and warn them of any potential dangers.
These brothers in arms will get you from A to B safely and in style.
Obviously bulletproof glass, so as we can still do security stuff. Sometimes in London we're asked to do it and we wonder if it's a social thing or whether it's because they're a bit worried about who's taking a shot at them.
Tank Limo may not be the most subtle ride, but Nick and Todd have built a beauty of a tank for hire. With a history in the forces and a passion for military vehicles, Tank Limo is a combination of two British Army FV432 APCs smashed together to create one party piece. It even has a gun turret used in the Berlin Brigade. But it turns out owning a tank can be big business, baby.
I got into tanks about 30 years ago and ended up with these two very nice tanks, and the idea was to keep one and sell one. But before I'd even took delivery of them, a company had asked if they could hire one. And I charged them more than half of the value of the tank for one day. I could see it being a business opportunity right from the beginning.
Before business could go boom, Nick and Todd had to stretch the tank.
There was two 432s that were pretty rough that we had to do something clever with. I got two great big girders and then got the two halves of tanks, put them on top of the girders, and then knocked it around with the digger bucket until it was lined up.
On the upper part, you can't see the join. Obviously, we have cunningly made it all smooth and you'd never know. But down here, you can see a piece of strapping going over the top just to make it a bit stronger. It's ended up with 3 top rollers. They normally only have 2.
People said it had never turned. I thought, well, we'll just stitch it together, get it roughly built, and then test it. We didn't actually test it until the whole thing was painted, the graphics were on, the interior were in, the TVs were in, everything. It was 100% finished. It's much heavier than a normal one. It's much faster, and it's done well.
If it takes a certain set of skills to build a tank limo, boy, does it take brute force to get in it.
Wow, that's stuck.
Maintenance on Tank Limo is akin to maintenance on any bit of heavy armor. Constant battle. Every time you think, ooh, I've sorted that out, something else crops up.
When it comes to running Tank Limo, these comrades have a broad range of customers.
I've done christenings, kids' parties, stag parties. We've done hen parties. We've done proms. Right at the end, we can even do your funeral. We do everything from birth to death. It's lovely for weddings.
And if you want to make an impression that'll last a lifetime, Tank Limo is the way to go.
You take it to a prom, and all these lads have saved up their pennies to hire a Bentley or a Hummer or something like that, thinking, wow, I've got this show stolen. Then you roll up and drop this lad off at his prom, and everybody's like, why do we even bother? Shock, amazement.
Yeah, when they're on the phone and they sort of go, and that look of shock, and then a smile comes on the face. I love all that. Part of the amazement is people just cannot believe it's road legal. But it is.
It may be road legal, but parking it in town is a whole other matter. Man, we might hate to admit it, guys, but I think we've seen 5 customs that prove sometimes size really does matter. I'll see you next time on Ultimate Ride.